Hello, everyone. Man, just got done here finishing with the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view. Oh my! What a show! What a show it was indeed. I'm a little disappointed to say the least with the end of the pay-per-view, the finish. The way that the show went off the air. It was a little bit frustrating. Like all this build up and this suspense of who's going to be the special referee. And when the time comes and goes, we what do we end up getting as our special guest referee? Who do we end up getting? I should say none other than Lacey Evans. Yes, you heard that right. Lacey Evans was our special guest referee. Um, I'm slightly disappointed here. Not gonna lie. I know there were rumors that it would be maybe Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar or anyone. Stephanie McMahon, I heard thrown out there. I think that would have been a worse outcome. I'm actually glad that that didn't happen. But we know that at least with Stephanie out there, maybe the fans would have been into it a little bit. I mean, people were chanting AEW. They were chanting, "This is awful. This is stupid," throughout the entire main event. And it was like the air was sucked out of the building 100% when Baron Corbin announced Lacey Evans as the special guest referee. It was just like all the air went out of the balloon. It was just a slow fizzle. And I mean, as WWE fans, which I'm sure if you come across this video, you are a WWE fan. I think we have to ask ourselves, like, why are we so invested in this product on a month-to-month basis, right? When the company has their months that they clearly just do not care at all about creative or what, or direction, stories, what have you. And yeah, I mean, if you nitpick and you really are a diehard fan, there's something here for everyone. Like I enjoyed the Samoa Joe Ricochet pay-per-view just as an example, but it's frustrating because they clearly did not care about the main event. I don't know why they chose to end the show with this. I guess for the feel-good moment of having Becky Lynch come out and stop Lacey Evans and blah blah blah. I'm gonna get into that though, but yeah, just you could have had Kofi Kingston get his clean win for the WWE Championship go on last. I probably would have preferred that. I think that would have been a much better outcome. Or even Bailey keeping her title. Becky Lynch could have gone on last. Instead, she goes on first. I don't know. That's confusing. A little bit of confusion in the placement there when you had, Becky close WrestleMania and Rollins open WrestleMania. Now you've got it flip flopped. Rollins closing this show, Becky opening this show. So yeah, just as fans, like, what are we watching every week? Why are we watching this when they clearly don't care? They're phoning it in. Because they know that it's a network, WWE Network now. They don't have to worry about pay-per-view numbers. And if people do buy it on pay-per-view, then people buy it on pay-per-view, what have you. But yeah, it's like they phoned it in, Seth Rollins versus Ricochet, like what's wrong with a match like that? Or Seth Rollins and Bobby Roode, or Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. Seth Rollins versus who, you name it, Roman Reigns, Dolph Ziggler. There's plenty of guys that you could substitute here and throw into the match. But instead we get a lame storyline. Like we can't just have two wrestlers that are competing for a championship that because they're the two best in the world at what they do, like they do in New Japan or AEW, for instance. Whatever. Like, even still, if you're gonna go with this lame ass story, a referee like Brock Lesnar would have been super entertaining. I know people would have been pissed about that, and you can't win with wrestling fans, but I think that would have been a lot better. So what we did get in the main event was, Rollins makes his big entrance, crowd super behind him. Baron Corbin makes his entrance. People are standing and booing, so that shows you why Baron Corbin's in the spot that he's in, because people are somewhat invested in him as a heel. But then you have, but before the match starts, you have Corbin announce Lacey Evans as as the referee, and then you can literally watch the air be sucked out of the building, and then the match starts. They're showered with the AEW chants. They're showered with the "This is awful" chants. They're showered with the "This is boring" chants. You know, all these chants, what have you. So on, so forth. You know, they're wrestling. Rollins throws Corbin into the announce table. Lacey starts a very, very slow count for the count of 10, and then she gets to like 7 or 8, and then she tells the ref, "Hey, there's gonna be no count outs." So a spot that we've seen millions and millions of times. And then she allows Baron Corbin to hit Rollins with the chair a couple of times, and she says, "Hey, this is no disqualification now." So as soon as she says no disqualification, the place erupts with the Becky Lynch chants. And this was actually the case from the second they announced Lacey as the referee, too. They erupted with Becky chants. So it takes away from your champion, your Universal Champion, the guy that's carrying Raw, the guy that's supposed to close out pay-per-views, carry the shows from now on. You know, you're taking away the spotlight from him and putting it on Becky by bringing out the woman that Becky is feuding with, and now the crowd's completely invested in that. They don't even care about what's going on in the ring, the match, you know. Just it was silly to begin with, but so that, you know, she makes a no disqualification. Then they wrestle here and there. They go through it. They're you know, the match is fine. Corbin does his spots where he gets out of the ring, runs around a corner, comes back in, does the clothesline, what have you. But yeah, so when Becky comes out after it's made no disqualification, it looked like Corbin was about to get the win because Lacey low-blowed Rollins. Corbin hit the end of days. Out comes Becky, makes the big save. Rollins hits Corbin with the curb stomp. We get the 1, 2, 3. Everybody's happy, right? Whatever. Flat ending for a flat pay-per-view. I'm going to talk about every other match, but I thought I'd start with the main events first. You know, just flat, completely flat overall. You know, the pay-per-view was good. It was good wrestling. Samoa Joe, Ricochet, good. Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery, good. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss, for what it was good. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus The New Day might have been match of the night. I have to rewatch it. You know, I have to rewatch that one and Ricochet and Samoa Joe before I could say that for sure. So the matches were good, but the pay-per-view, just from a storyline standpoint and from building an intrigue to making me want to watch on Monday, flat from that standpoint. Too much Shane McMahon. I've had enough of Shane, as he's being overexposed, and I guess he's going to be the guy. I guess he's going to be the guy. The guy to dethrone Kofi Kingston. I guess that's going to be a thing. I don't know. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so we had the co-main event was Kofi Kingston defending his title against Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage for the WWE Championship. Cage matches in 2019, I'm not all that interested in them. I don't think they're that great. And to be honest, this match was too long. I got lost, and at one point I was just scrolling through Facebook and looking at news. I was not interested in this match after about like 5 or 6 minutes. Cages just don't do it. Cage matches don't do it for me. The finish was super creative. I'll give him that. Ziggler almost fell, or Kofi almost fell out of the cage after a super kick, I believe it was. But Ziggler was able to stop him. And then, they battled back and forth by the door. And then Kofi did a super athletic jump from the apron, jumping over the top rope, going out of the cage. I thought it was super athletic, super high risk. That was really the highlight of the match to me. No big high spots that I can remember. Nothing that you can really write home about. I think Ziggler, the way they're building the story about Ziggler, having him as the guy that, okay, he's been in WWE for 14 years and he hasn't had the belt. They're pretty much erasing the big gold belt from history. It's kind of a shame because Ziggler did have a good little run and chase of that belt. So I think there's a lot there that they kind of glossed over. But Kofi gets a legitimate win here, and he's cemented as a real credible Universal or real credible WWE champion. There was no cash in. Brock did not cash in on either guy, which I think is good. I think Kofi should be champion at least till SummerSlam. You can dethrone him then. I'm not sure what they can do with him. I don't really see anyone that's gonna take him over. Like, booking is very short term right now. There's nobody that they're really like cluing towards or hinting at. But I'm all for Kofi keeping the title right now. He's one of the most over acts in the entire company. Him and the New Day, they're super over, and it shows. There were Kofi chants at will. There's really not a whole lot I could say about it. I didn't really watch the whole match. I just couldn't do it. I tried, but I got to be honest. I just couldn't. I couldn't. Cage matches just not my thing. Then we had Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre with Shane McMahon. Like I said a minute ago, I'm very tired of Shane McMahon. He's just being overexposed. It's overkill. It's too much. Roman was getting cheered for the most part. There was some minor Roman sucks chants, but Shane. I don't think Shane is helping Roman. I don't think so at all. I think maybe they would benefit from being together some way, like Shane using his babyface magic when he is a babyface to help rub off on Roman. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, this match was just flat, and it was too long. 17 minutes for this, just too long in my opinion. That it was fine. Some of the action was fine when Shane was not interfering. I know I'm kind of all over the place on this one, but Roman, we knew he was going to win. I just don't buy anybody beating Roman. I know Shane just beat him, but he wasn't going to lose twice in a row. He just lost a Super Showdown, so he wasn't going to lose again. A lot of people thought Drew McIntyre was going to win because they haven't done a lot with him. They've been kind of keeping him in the background as Shane's lackey, his assistant, whatever you want to call it. It's not the best look for Drew, and then I think having him lose kind of hurt him because with the right tweak, if you let him go and turn him loose, Drew McIntyre can be one of the guys that you could build around. That I could build around if I was in a position of writing TV and booking. He's got the look, he's got a decent, almost up to par mic skills. He can go in the ring. So it's a little puzzling why they wanted to have him lose again. They could have done like a no finish. I think this was maybe the perfect time for a no finish. They could have just had Shane get the DQ. But yeah, Roman gets the win in predictable fashion. I guess what's going to be next for Roman. My guess, I could see him. I could see them keeping this Shane McMahon feud going. I assume he's going to face Shane McMahon at SummerSlam, and then from there he's going to challenge for the WWE title, and Roman will be the King of SmackDown. That's probably the direction they're going to go around October-ish when the SmackDown goes to Fox. That'd be my guess. That's why Roman is here. Roman brings the most star power. They want to have their biggest star going into their new show on a flagship network like Fox. And I think it's the right call, having Roman be the guy. I'm for it. I like Roman. I don't have a lot against him. Yes, he's predictable, but I can't be mad at it. Right now, I'm enjoying what we have at the top of SmackDown. Something different in Kofi and Dolph. I'm enjoying it. So then Bayley and Alexa Bliss, for the women's title. They were with Nikki Cross at ringside. There are two big takeaways from this match. Alexa Bliss did a Canadian destroyer on the outside, and Bayley looked like she hit her head very hard. When I saw that, I was just thinking, oh my goodness. One, I wasn't expecting Alexa Bliss to pull out the Canadian destroyer, and two, the way Bayley's head hit the ring mat, hit the floor mat. I was a little shook. I was not prepared for that. I didn't think that I didn't think that Alexa had it in her. You know, she did not strike me as someone that could pull off a Canadian destroyer. I know Bailey's from the indie scene, and I'm sure she did plenty on the indie scene. Alexa came up pretty much in the WWE system. She never really has had any experience in that kind of edgy, more risky in-ring style. And I think it's good that WWE is allowing this move now. You know, we've seen Sami Zayn do it, I believe. Or no, not Sami. Rey Mysterio do it recently. Now we're seeing it here with Alexa. I think it's cool that WWE is progressing and they're starting to catch up to times with their in-ring product. You know, they got the speed and pacing is still a problem for some matches. Some matches are slow, but other matches the speed has been better. Then we have another thing I want to talk about too is that we have Nikki Cross as Alexa's like friend or crony. Like Alexa, I don't know. I don't quite know what direction they're going with here. You know, Alexa's making Nikki think that she likes her, but then she's talking bad about her, similar to the Nia Jax story that they did. Not quite as overblown or quite as important, but you know, they're doing that. And Nikki Cross, I think that they could be doing more with her, but then I look at it like, where's there room for her? And then I say, oh wow, Becky Lynch faced Lacey Evans today. Nikki Cross is clearly more deserving, but this company has a type. They got to have a beautiful blonde woman in the title picture at all times. As you can see, I mean, they have Lacey and Alexa both challenging for the titles, both beautiful blonde women. They have a type, like Becky Lynch said. But, you know, other than that, there's not a lot of room for Nikki Cross other than facing Becky for the title. And there's other women that they're not even using too. And there's just not everyone can be on TV. Not everyone can be on every pay-per-view. I get it. So Nikki Cross being involved in some way, shape, or form is cool. You know, it's good for her to get some exposure. And working with Alexa Bliss is a big star. And they can have some viral moments on social media and YouTube. But yeah, Bailey got the win here. This match, I don't want to say it blew me away, but it was a lot better than I expected. Going in, wasn't sure about Alexa's health. You know, Alexa's health is a really big question mark. And the way the match was going, like I said, the Canadian Destroyer, the pacing was just there. The pacing was good. It was just better, just way better than I could have predicted. And I was happy that Bailey got the win. You know, I was thinking maybe they're going to take the belt off of Bailey and they're going to give it to Alexa now that she's healthy and she's ready to return to the ring full time, it looks like. It might be I thought that might have been the call because Alexa Bliss was carrying the women's division essentially. Her and Charlotte Flair were carrying the women's division from 2016 to 2017 and into 2018. And now she's been really out. She's been out for so long with injuries and just a lot of heartbreak for her, I'm sure. I caught like the first 5 or 6 minutes of the 365 special, and she just looked really heartbroken talking about her injuries. And I hate to see someone's dream get pulled away from them. It's tough. So yeah, I was a little surprised by the finish. Honestly, I was not expecting it to go this way. Bailey won clean, kept her title. It was kind of underwhelming. You know, there was really no celebration. I was hoping that Bailey would show some emotion, but they just showed it to her like cracking a brief smile as she's walking to the back. And I don't know, they just kind of moved on to the next match. I was expecting something different here, but I think this was clearly a one-off. You know, Alexa's going back to Raw. They mentioned that you know, Bailey kept the title from going from SmackDown to Raw. They mentioned that in an Instagram post. So my next guess for Bailey would be Charlotte. That's what else can they do? You know, who else they can have a feud with? Maybe Ember Moon. That'd be nice. You know, have it turn Ember Moon heel, or they might throw her in there with Mandy Rose. I don't know. I'm just freestyling. Mandy Rose is someone that I'm sure a lot of people would not be very happy about seeing her feud for the championship. I don't know how many fans she has. I don't know. But then Daniel Bryan and Rowan defended their SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I don't think I caught this match. I have to go back and watch it. Yeah, no, I didn't catch this match. I was driving, actually. I was not home when I was watching the show. I didn't catch this match, so I'm going to go back and rewatch it. What I did take away from from trying to follow on Twitter as best as I could was that Daniel Bryan was getting cheered a lot, and no shock, of course, no surprise whatsoever. They were in Washington State. That's Daniel Bryan's home state, near his hometown in Aberdeen. They were in Tacoma, so no surprise that Daniel Bryan and Rowan tried their best to get Heavy Machinery over as the baby faces, but crowd was just not having it. From what I saw, they were cheering Daniel Bryan doing the kicks. I don't know why he does the kicks still. That's confusing to me. If he's a heel, why is he doing his babyface spot? And you don't want people to cheer you. Why are you giving them an outlet? Why are you doing a move that was super popular? And not too long ago either. It's not like he was popular 15 years ago, and people may have forgot that he did this move. So a little bit confusing. Heavy Machinery got the rub. They got the pay-per-view exposure. I think this is a one-off. I'm not really clear on how they feel about Heavy Machinery. I think it's cool that they got this spot, and Daniel Bryan and Rowan are doing what they said they were going to do, and make the tag team division relevant. They were going to defend against new challengers. It wasn't going to be the same thing over and over again, which is refreshing. So maybe they might find a way to run this back. I don't know. I think we'll see a new team for them. There's a couple different directions they could go, right? There's always the prospect of Xavier Woods and Big E, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which would be awesome. If they did Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Owens and Sami Zayn, just has an indie feel to it. Has like a Ring of Honor vibe to it. Seeing those three guys in the ring along with Rowan, he's cool. Yeah, Daniel Bryan, Rowan got the win. No surprise. Next up, Ricochet and Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. Really shocking outcome. Ricochet got the win. I was not expecting it, but I'm actually kind of glad. I think Ricochet is good for this championship spot. He's a guy that can defend a lot of different challengers. You could throw anyone at him, and the match will be good, and people will be invested in it just because of how talented Ricochet is. You could literally put him in there with anyone. It doesn't matter. Eric Young, dust him off, put him in there. Ricochet is going to have a good match. Finn Balor, whoever. I know Finn Balor's not on Raw, but just naming a few names that off the top of the head. It would be cool. But they're probably going to run it back. That'd be my guess. They'll run it back at the next pay-per-view. But the match was good. This might have been the best match on the show. Might have been. And you let me know. If you saw this match and you thought it was the best on the show, let me know. Let me know what you think. But yeah, not really a whole lot to say about it. I don't have a lot. Then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the New Day. I was a little bit bored at the beginning because I was wondering like why is this match on the card? Why is this match on the card, but we don't have the Raw Tag Team Champions? That was really what was going through my mind. Like, okay, we have a tag team match, but we don't have the Raw Tag Team Champions. We just have a random tag team match for no reason. There's no story here. But then as I watched the match, I just stopped worrying about the story and just watched this as a wrestling fan. And it was good. High-paced action. The match started off hot with Kevin Owens and Sammy just frog splashing Big E, hitting their finish on him. And then he kicked out. He kicked out of a couple frog splashes. Just kicked out of the Blue Thunder Bomb. They attacked Big E before the bell, so I thought they were going to pin Xavier really quick. That was kind of the way it was looking, but that didn't end up happening. And I'm pretty glad that didn't happen. But they built to a great match. I mean, Big E did the flying spear on Kevin Owens. Sammy did a plancha. Xavier did a plancha. It's good, really good stuff from these guys. Great chemistry there. Kevin and Sammy have been teaming for years and years before WWE. They know each other like the back of their hands. They're best friends. It was pretty good stuff. And then the opening match on the card, we saw Becky Lynch defeat Lacey Evans. I don't know why they're doing this to this poor girl, Lacey. They're throwing her to the wolves. They've cooked her. They're putting her in there with the biggest star in the company in her first program, and she can't wrestle like the crowd says. She just can't. She can't do it on the level of other people that other people can. Her moves look sloppy. She looks like her timing is off. She doesn't look quite coordinated in there. It's not like she had a lot of matches in NXT. I don't know. There's no backstory about her either. Like, why do we care about her? We don't know anything about her. She didn't have a backstory in NXT. She hasn't had a backstory in WWE. She's just this lady that would come out in between matches and just walk out, strut her stuff from the cage, strut down the ramp, and come back to the top of the stage. There's nothing. We don't know anything about her. We have no reason to care. Like, why is Becky Lynch so mad at her? There's no reason either way, left or right, for us to care. And this match was 11 minutes and 30 seconds. It was about 7 minutes too long. I think they should have went shorter on this one. There's no reason for this match to be 12 minutes. Becky tried to get something out of her. She did. She carried her. She did okay. She did okay. People were not really into it. I mean, they were chanting Becky here and there. Nobody was really into it though. She won the title, kept her Raw Championship. No surprise there. If Becky had lost, that would have been quite shocking. That would have been more shocking, definitely more shocking than Ricochet defeating Samoa Joe. But I saw the odds when I was looking at the odds online that these two girls were almost even. I believe Becky was like minus 150 and Becky was minus 200 and Lacey was plus 150. The odds were super close, and I was thinking, wow, are they really going to take the belt off of her? Like, why are the odds so close? Because when they face each other at Money in the Bank, Becky was like a plus 700 favorite or something like that, plus 600, plus 700. Glad they didn't pull the trigger that way. Glad Becky's still the champion. Overall, I got to be honest, like I said, the storylines and the outcomes of the main stories were pretty disappointing, but the matches were great. Overall, I got to give it a thumbs in the middle. The very first Stomping Grounds, it was a decent show. It was not a show that's going to be a contender for pay-per-view of the year. No match of the year contenders on it. Nothing, not one great moment that you really look back and say, hey, check this out. This match is one that we'll never forget. Nothing like that. Nothing that we're going to be talking about years from now. Overall, a pretty forgettable show. No big stars on it. So, yeah, it was fine. Decent match. I'd give it like a C minus. It was straight. I'm leaning towards thumbs down, like thumbs in the middle with a thumb going down. Yeah, let me know what you thought. Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm always talking wrestling. Going to be talking MMA. Just watch the UFC Greenville main event. Korean Zombie and Renato Moicano. Awesome fight. Glad to see Korean Zombie get back in the winning panel. He's a guy that a lot of hardcore fans know. A lot of diehard MMA fans know, but not a lot of casuals do. But he's the guy that's going to give you a great fight and a great performance every single time. And this was nothing short of that. He's a massive fan favorite. And it was a really cool moment to see him back at the top of contention after that heartbreaking loss to Yair Rodriguez. So it was great to see that. But yeah, keep it locked. Subscribe to the podcast version of the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your shows. And yeah, thank you guys all for checking this out.